Depo Talk, Depo Talk. Another topic broken down on Depo Talk. Wonder what it could be. Let's check in with Jan and Rosalie.
Welcome to Depo Talk with Veritext principals Jan Ballman and Rosalie Kramm. Each episode looks at a deposition or proceeding-related topic of the day through the lens of two industry veterans with over 80 combined years of experience. And now, without further delay, we are on the record. Take it away, Jan and Rosalie.
Hello, welcome to Depo Talk. I'm Jan Ballman, and I'm a principal here at Veritext, and I'm coming to you from our beautiful offices in the City of Lakes, Minneapolis.
And I'm Rosalie Kramm, a principal at Veritext, coming to you from sunny, beautiful San Diego.
All right, Rosalie, I have a question for you. True or false? One of the hottest issues in our industry right now is AI, or artificial intelligence, and how it's being used by attorneys, co-reporters, and agencies.
True, Jan. I mean, I've seen it popping up all over social media, and it's even on the front page of newspapers.
Well, then that makes it a terrific topic for today, right? It's hot and also a little spicy. So are you up for breaking down a little hot and spicy today?
Jan, absolutely. Let's just do it.
All right. Well, Rosalie, one of the reasons AI is a hot topic is because it's new technology that has incredible potential to create efficiencies for both businesses and individuals in both work and play. So lots of interest there. And one of the reasons the topic is a little hot and spicy in our industry right now is because AI now has the ability to create some products and services that look a little similar to that which up until now has only been available in our industry by purchase from court reporters and videographers. So that's a little new and different. And it kind of begs the question, are we to fear or not fear artificial intelligence? So to kick this off, I'd like to assert a notion that we humans tend to naturally fear the unknown. So it might be a good first step to take AI from this relative unknown and learn more about it, make it a little less scary, maybe a little bit more approachable. So I just have to fully disclose right now that you and we are not the AI technology experts, but gratefully, we do have them on our team here. And our team has been working really hard to present webinars to both attorneys and court reporters that explains AI and how it works, as well as the current status of how it's being used in the industry. So I'm just wondering, Rosalie, have you had a chance to see any of those webinars?
Yes, Jan, I have. And, I'm just going to say, they're really interesting. They're informative. They tell you not only about the court reporting industry, but what AI is in general. So if you just Google AI and the record, court reporters and videographers by Veritext, you'll be able to get right on their landing page. And I promise you, it's worth watching just to learn what is AI and what is going on in the legal field.
Yeah, I agree. Super good, available on demand, easy to find, really comprehensive and specific to us and our profession. So I think that's definitely a great place to start this exploration of whether we fear or not fear AI. Let's start with the facts. Why don't we? What is it? What isn't it? What can it do? What can't it do? So I think that would help. And then also next, I think it would be super helpful to put AI into some historical perspective. And what I mean by that is this is far from the first time that this industry has been scared to death by, some new kid in town, a sudden weird twist coming our way, and emerging technology that, comes up that initially looked to be a major disruptor. And yet here we all still are.
Jan, sometimes it's easy to forget the past and some of the different things that have come up, but I can remember all the way back to paper notes. And when we first were introduced to CAT technology, and people were scared to not have their paper notes, so they're keeping electronic files, paper files. And then there was, of course, the Rule 30 in the federal rules. So videographers were allowed to take down the record, and court reporters were super scared that videographers were going to take over our job. And then there was the horrible fear of, real time. Attorneys are going to see our mistakes. They might see our drops or some steno. And the reporters were scared to death of real time or rough drafts because it's not perfect. So, we go all the way to COVID. And everyone was scared when COVID happened because there were no more in-person depositions. And I truly congratulate and believe that it was the court reporters that helped the whole industry, that trained attorneys how to use remote technology to have a successful deposition. And now we have hybrid depositions, remote depositions. And believe me, it was the court reporters who led the way. So there's also the introduction of digital reporters, but here we are still, effective, happy court reporters working every day.
Busy, busy, busy. Yeah, I vividly remember all of those moments in time, and many others for that matter. And again, here we still are. So, I mean, we truly have seen a lot of things that felt pretty threatening over the years. Great reminders of all of those. But now let me ask you, you're out in the field reporting all the time. This is your, I believe, 4th decade. You talk to other reporters, clients all the time. What's the barometer out there? I mean, what are you seeing? What are you hearing about how attorneys and reporters and agency owners as well feel about the use of AI in our industry at this time? Let's start with reporters.
Okay, well, I've seen the whole gamut. There's some reporters who really are not aware of AI, and I think they're very few and far between, but they're out there. And I think the majority of court reporters are very scared and distressed about AI. I read about them being in a Zoom deposition, and the attorneys are turning on the Zoom or Microsoft Teams software so that they can capture the closed captioning testimony or the voice to text testimony that is on their computers. Reporters are having to turn it off, but it's making them really nervous because they're worried they're going to lose their rough drafts or even their roll time. So, there are reporters who are not at all threatened by AI, and those are the ones who really embrace the technology that is already in our CAT software, and they're using it to save time, be more efficient, and to make money.
Well, I agree. That's probably the gamut, and that's probably no different than it's ever been. Lots of reporters kind of keeping their head down, working, not really caring what's going on too much, except a day-to-day work. And then you've got a lot that are paying attention, get very distressed when these new disruptors or potential disruptors pop up. But I'm always fascinated by those early adapters. There's always some in our industry who see the opportunity in embracing new technology. They're not afraid of it. They see it as a way to create efficiencies and, as you say, to make more money. So totally agree. And kind of nothing new there, but I do believe that's probably a really accurate barometer in terms of court reporters and AI. But what about reporting agencies and AI? What can you tell us about that, Rosalie?
Well, I feel kind of sorry for agency owners because they are being put in an uncomfortable position in which the attorneys are asking them for one thing. They need to cater to their attorneys to keep their business or lose the business, which is bad for the court reporters as well as the agency owners. And the agency owners are just trying to keep the court reporters happy, the attorneys happy, and sometimes that doesn't work. It's a really fine balance, and those reporting agency owners are walking a very tight line.
That's dicey. But large, small, doesn't matter, mom and pop, national, everybody's kind of facing the same thing. It's a service business, right? If you want to stay in business, agencies don't have a lot of choice. You have to give the clients what they want. So yeah, a little difficult in terms of that right now. But lastly, what about attorneys, Rosalie? What are you seeing? Are they all in gung-ho when it comes to AI? Are they a little wary to trust this new technology? Because it's already kind of been shown to create some unintended consequences out there. We're hearing about that. What's the vibe with attorneys and clients?
Well, I'm glad I watched that video we talked about before, AI, the record, court reporters and videographers, because it taught me that law firms are having to become really careful when it comes to producing documents, exhibits, that nothing is being generated by AI, that it's real. They are having to hire third-party companies to ensure the fact that what they are providing to the other side, let's say, in production is real and not generated by AI. There's the young attorney that we all read about 6 months ago, talking about using ChatGPT to write a brief. And the brief was full of mistakes. It was thrown out by the judge and was incredibly embarrassing for that attorney and that law firm. So, the attorneys are having a difficult time with AI right now. And even last week, I was reporting the expert deposition of a scientist, and she was accused by the attorneys of using AI to create her report because most of all the citations were just wrong. So attorneys are being really cautious at this time about trusting AI and how they're going to be able to use it in their own field.
Well, that sounds right on. So probably we could say maybe same as with reporters. You've got those attorneys who are always going to go after, that bright, shiny new technology that could, potentially make them more money, save them money, create efficiencies. Then there's a lot of others who are wary of it, right? And would prefer to go with what they know and trust. Sounds like us, sounds like them. And I think we are what attorneys know and trust.
AI is going to keep evolving, and so are the risks that are associated with it. So everyone's paying attention.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, let's get to the heart of the matter, shall we? For reporters and videographers, and let's just really address this new reality that there are now certain AI generated offerings emanating from, not you and me, but from giant tech companies that we have no control over, like Microsoft and Zoom, right? I mean, we have no say in this, and we're starting to see attorneys finding that, using it. Those products are looking similar, not identical, not identical, but similar to those court reporters sell, and videographers too, for that matter. But basically they're just speech to text products that have just gotten better over the years. They're far from perfect, still inferior to a good rough draft in real time that most court reporters sell. But the thing is, these products are finding a place in the litigator's workflow where they can add some value. And here's the big thing: they're cheap. It's cheap. It's fast.
And Jan, we all know how attorneys are always looking for ways to save money. We've all had one or another ask, "Hey, Madam Court Reporter, can I get my transcript in 4 days and not pay an expedite fee? My client can't afford it," or whatever it is. And so, the attorneys really are duty bound to save their clients some money. It's actually in the federal rules. So we really cannot blame them for being curious about AI generated real-time drafts to see how good it is and if it can help them save time and money.
I mean, I agree. I stand to be shot as the messenger here, but I just have to ask this question, if we're being honest with ourselves, who doesn't like saving money, and why would attorneys not try something that's cheap and fast, just, to see how good it is?
And I think we do have to be honest with ourselves and expect that attorneys are going to be curious and are going to check AI out. But you know what? We really need to face our fears and not be intimidated, in my opinion, by either AI technology or the companies building it. And we need to shift our focus to pivoting and adapting, as we've done so well so many times in the past.
So many times in the past, Rosalie. I think you just hit the nail on the head. So really, this is just another new competitor competing for market share. Nothing new here, nothing new to see, people, but I think we could be wise to approach this particular current new potential competitor like athletes or elite teams approach their competition. So think about it. When you win the World Series, or Stanley Cup, Wimbledon, Masters, doesn't matter, whatever. While that does represent for that moment in time that you are the greatest in the world, it does. You haven't earned a lifelong title of being the greatest of all time forever and ever. You're the gold medal holder. You're the gold standard just up until someone is better than you or can prove themselves to be superior. Right?
Yes, Jan. And I think this is where court reporters can take a page from playbook of professional athletes and Olympians. Great athletes don't sit back on their laurels and say, "Well, gosh, I'm the best there is, so I don't have to improve at all." They never say that. No. We can literally create playbooks and plans on how to compete. That's a smart thing to do. We can size up our competition's strengths and weaknesses and rely on our own state-of-the-art software and hardware to compete.
Right. So what would that look like right now in this instance, Rosalie? What would a playbook look like?
Well, let's say, Jan, today our playbook, court reporters versus AI. So when you're trying to compete with AI, let's think. We need to identify its strengths and weaknesses as compared to us. So what advantages does AI hold over us? At this time, there is cost. Zoom and Microsoft Teams are giving away their closed caption software for free. I doubt it's going to last forever, but right now it's for free. There's the speed of delivery of service.
Well, and let's face that, Rosalie, when you think about it, when's the last time we made that a little faster? We haven't changed final delivery time from, 10 days to 2 weeks where we are right now for a very long time. And in today's world, that's basically a light year.
Jan, I've heard about court reporters getting transcripts out 3 or 4 weeks after the deposition because they're doing in-person depositions and there are not enough in-person reporters. So they're taking on a huge workload, more than they want to report, but they're doing it to help service our clients, but then getting way behind when it comes to their transcripts being produced. So that's an issue that we really have to pay attention to as well. AI doesn't have a shortage issue. So they're going to be available for depositions in person. They're not going to have breaks or need lunches. They're not going to have a hard stop at 5 so people can pick up their kids. I mean, that's just part of the reality of what's happening now. And AI is getting better and better. And so many reporters have chosen to stay in their lane and not really improve for whatever reason.
Probably the most common reason being that there's a lot of us, I'll say us, because I'll put myself in the category that, we can see retirement from here. And so I think it can be common to just say, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I don't want to, I'm just going to kind of coast in this lane until I retire. It's not hugely unreasonable. It's just that I think that mindset multiplied by however many people have it is an advantage that AI or any technology has, because that will just continue to improve. It's not thinking about retirement, right? Well, I would agree with those assessments, in terms of where and why AI has advantages over reporters is a little daunting, but now let's talk about the many advantages reporters have over AI, shall we?
Yes, and Jan, luckily we have a lot of advantages over AI. First, we are the attorney's trusted provider. That takes a long time for attorneys to build trust, but we've got it and we deserve it. Attorneys are always historically slow to trust, let alone embrace new technology. Some of them are still nervous to do a remote deposition. And court reporters have a tremendous ability to provide great customer service. We are used to being in a professional deposition setting and dealing with exhibits, with translators, interpreters, with deposition protocol. AI doesn't have that. And human intelligence is still so far superior to artificial intelligence. Our brains are magical, period. And I hope everyone here has read that transcript of the brain scientist who talked about the court reporter saying, there's synapses here that are flashing and here, and the court reporter is using more parts of their brain than most people are able to at the same time. Our brains are amazing. Our brains are our superpower.
And if I could just throw something in there, I mean, we all are very familiar with our phones. We say something, it translates something completely ridiculous. I mean, to me, that's the difference between artificial intelligence. Boy, it sounded like that. And human intelligence, our brains in proceedings where I know it sounded like that, but that's not what you meant. Or, that ability to contextualize is huge. And AI appears to be a long ways away from the human intelligence in that regard. So, yeah.
And also, Jan, just thinking about it, reporters are worried about losing money because attorneys are checking out the closed caption software. But when you think about the attorneys that are using it, they're not the ones who are typically buying rough drafts in real time from us now, because they really need a quality product and they can't be just experimenting with something that's free off the shelf.
Oh, that's a really good point. I now that I think about that, I would agree with you that we're not seeing less people using real time. The same people who have always ordered that and used it are still doing it. They're not about to start, trusting that to a technology that people are wary of in their industry. But instead, I think it's the folks maybe who never saw value in it or couldn't afford or didn't want to spend their clients' money, whatever. This gives them an opportunity to try it out for free. So again, I think you're right. It's probably at this point not really a revenue loss for us, but some people are trying out. Maybe they'll end up using our real time. You never know. So those are all great points, actually, and there's probably a lot more really. But now if we step back, we've analyzed this particular competitor's strengths and weaknesses, that being AI, compared to ours, us being court reporters. So what might a game plan be for how court reporters could best leverage our advantages over this particular competitor?
Well, first, Jan, let's embrace the AI that's already available to us in our CAD software. Learn our CAD software, and I've been, guilty of not taking as much advantage as I could, but I'm really working on that because let's face it, we've got the briefs on the fly, we've got the AI built into our software that tries to read when we make a misstroke in our steno, and usually 98% of the time it's correct. At least it is for my software. And, I was talking to a voice writer, and their software is so amazing when it comes to voice to text and supporting them when it comes to making the record. So start using your CAD software to its grandest, most best ability. And if you're not already, start offering instant real time to clients or rough drafts, because it's not only going to make you more money, but attorneys are blown away when court reporters provide real time. And I don't care if there's a mistake. I don't care if you've got a teeny little drop or they see some steno. They are blown away. They expect mistakes. And I suggest that it's a great opportunity for court reporters to show off their skills and their brain power. Like you were saying earlier, there's the interpreted deposition. Perhaps there's someone has a tremendous strong accent. That AI product is not going to look good. But with our brain power, our super brain power, we're able to decipher what people are actually saying and write it in real time. So using our tremendous brain power to compete with AI is one of the most powerful tools we've got. And then also just striving to provide great customer service. Like I said before, attorneys trust us, they like us, they expect us to do a great job, and we do a great job. We are the guardian of the record. We understand that. But we really, I feel, need to be going in person and doing depositions that attorneys want to see you. They trust you. They like you. So if you can do some more in-person depositions and help out your calendar people, I think that would be really super helpful to compete against AI. And then just always be the consummate professional. Support your state and local reporting associations. And I say that because I really feel we need them to give us opportunities to learn and to network and to become stronger as a force.
Well, and our national associations as well. Obviously, we all need them to be around. We get our certifications through them. And if we expect them to be there when we need them, we have to be there when they need us, and they need our support too. So it's kind of a two-way street there. So Rosalie, those are excellent suggestions. And honestly, I truly believe that any reporter who would create a playbook and execute a game plan using all those great examples, leveraging all of our strengths that we have, that we have an excellent chance of not just competing well in this industry for a very long time, but, holding out of that gold medal, the gold standard. So, okay, that was kind of a lot to unpack. I thought there's a lot there. As we always do, how about let's take a step back and finish up by just summing up maybe our top takeaways for not fearing AI, but rather treating it, as a worthy competitor and competing accordingly. What would be your takeaways if you want to go first, Rosalie?
Okay, well, sorry I jumped in, but I'm so excited. Remember, we are amazing, fine-tuned athletes. We can compete at the highest level. We were watching those Olympic athletes last week in Paris. And not only do they work hard to be stronger and faster, like we could be doing to become faster writers and practice some briefs, but we can be also surrounding ourselves like they do with positivity. And what I meant by that is I was reading about one of the gymnasts, that guy that did the horse. He says he listens to affirmations all day long, positive affirmations. He surrounds himself with positive teammates and positive people. And so I feel like sometimes court reporters will find their way into some of the negativity that you find in social media, and then starts making you feel bad about yourself or not great about the profession. And that's really super harmful. So I suggest people to stay away from that, be positive, stay at the top of your game, and just go, court reporters, go, be great.
Great. You always have great insights and great energy, Rosalie. Thank you for those. For me, I would say my top takeaways from all we've heard today. First, there's no path forward anymore that leaves technology behind. So we're in a technology business, so a core reporter's playbook is going to need to learn to embrace and not fear the latest technologies. I mean, think back, when has technology not been our friend, even though we feared it initially? Secondly, we just can't forget that we are in the service business. It's so important. We have to meet the requests we get from clients. It's not about us and whether we enjoy doing it necessarily, because when we start telling them we can't or we won't do what they want, that's when they're going to start looking somewhere else or at other technologies. So also just remember to be the stellar agents of customer services that we can be as human beings. Technology cannot outserve us. So leverage that distinct advantage in the customer service industry. We are in the customer service business. We're in the service business. All right, my last takeaway. This goes straight to the question, to fear or not fear AI. And the answer to that question, of course, is to fear not, because, fear is a powerful force. And when it's unaddressed, it turns into limitations. So remember, my friends, don't look at fear as a hindrance, but as an invitation to evolve.
That's so right on, Jan. And just reporters, come on, go out there, face your fears and just do it.
Just do it. Somebody coined that phrase. I can't remember who, but just do it. All right, Rosalie, that's a wrap. Thank you all. Thank you for your great insights, Rosalie, your great energy as always. And thanks to all of the rest of you out there who joined us. We appreciate you being here. Let's all plan to keep our game and our standards at a very high level always. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Jan, we are off the record.
Depo Talk, Depo Talk. Another topic broken down on Depo Talk.